Hi everybody, so in this video we're going to do module 53. And so we're going to start with the check your understanding number 1, and then we'll take a look at number 2. So the first question says, suppose a firm can sell as many units of output as it wants for a price of $15 and faces total costs indicated in the table below. Use the optimal output rule to determine the profit maximizing level of output for the firm. So remember that we're looking for MR equals MC, or at least we're looking for the unit where that is true, or the last unit where marginal revenue is greater than marginal cost. So we know that the price is 15, so we kind of know that that's going to be 15 as the marginal revenue because we have Mr. Darp, remember? So marginal revenue and price are the same for these firms. Now, the next part is we're just going to look in that TC, and we're going to look for finding what's the change and look for where it's a marginal cost of 15. So if we go from 0 to 1, it looks like that's 8, so that's not right. 1 to 2 is 10, we're getting warmer. 2 to 3 is 13, and 3 to 4 is 17. So 3 to 4, 17, that's too much. So we should stop when we get to the third unit. Third unit, because it's the last quantity before marginal cost is greater than marginal revenue. Okay, now we're going to take a look at number 2. Number 2 says, use the data to graph the firm's MC and MR curves and show the profit maximizing level of output. So I probably should have sat down and done the marginal cost. So let's go ahead and do that now, quantity and marginal cost. And so they go up to 5, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There isn't one for the 0th unit. For the first unit, we said it was 8. The second unit was 10. Third unit was 13, 17, and 21. And we already know, right, that the marginal revenue is 15 regardless of what unit it is. So we've got quantity and price. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so for the first unit, the marginal cost is, or the maximum, let's go up here and just say 25. So 5, 10, 15, 20. Forgot my axes on the other one, right? So 20. So for the first unit, the marginal revenue that we would get would be 15. And for the second unit, it's also 15. And for the third unit and the fourth unit and the fifth unit, because we know it's this nice straight line. Marginal revenue is equal to the price. Now we got to figure out where the marginal cost curve goes. So at unit 1, it's 8. At unit 2, it's 10. At unit 3, it's 13. At unit 4, it goes up to here, and unit 5 is up to here. So it does kind of have one of these shapes. And so we should, if we could, we should produce here, but we can't make 3.5 units, so we'll just make 3 units at that point. So the profit maximizing level of output is here at unit 3, Pmax. Okay, now let's take a look at the multiple choice. Multiple choice number 1. Use the data to answer questions 1 to 3. All right, what's the marginal revenue of the third unit of output? Well, for these, right, we're going to have to work backwards. So we can kind of tell that the total revenue is 36, and going from the 36 goes with the second unit. I have to squint a little bit. The third unit is 54. So 54 minus 36 is 18. So our correct answer is C. Number 2, the marginal cost of the first unit. So we go from 0 to 1, and so it's 30 minus 14 is 16. So that's C. Number 3, at what level of output is profit maximized? So for this one, right, we have to figure out what's the marginal cost of the marginal revenue. It does look like the marginal revenue stays the same. It goes up by 18 every time. So we're going to look for where the total cost is equal to 18. So if we go from 0 to, or where the marginal cost is equal to 18. Where we go from 0 to 1, we already said that's 16. From 1 to 2 is 6. 2 to 3 is 8. 3 to 4 is 12. 4 to 5 is 16. And then 5 to 6 is 20. So we're going to stop at the 5th unit, D. And again, the reason why is because we don't want to produce the unit where the marginal cost exceeds the marginal revenue. So we're going to stop before we get to that point, right? Number 4, a firm should continue to produce so long as, and this one says total revenue is less than total cost. No, because then it's not profitable. Total revenue is greater than total explicit. Well, you'd have to know implicit cost, so we're going to say no, and that's not true for B. C, accounting profit is greater than economic profit. Well, accounting profit is always greater than economic profit because accounting profit doesn't include implicit cost, so that's not the right answer. Accounting profit is not negative. No, because there are some times when you shouldn't continue to produce if your economic profit is negative. So that leaves us with economic profit is at least 0. E is the correct answer. Number 4, E. And in fact, you should continue to produce if your economic profit is 0, but you're kind of ambivalent at that point if it is 0. A firm earns a normal profit, that's the 0 level. Economic profit is positive, no. Economic profit equals its total explicit and implicit costs. E is actually saying economic profit is 0, so E is the correct answer here as well. Okay, now let's take a look at number 2. Use a graph. Free response number 2. Use a graph to illustrate the typical shape of the 2 curves used to find a firm's profit maximizing level of output on the basis of optimal output. Assume all the outputs are sold for $5 a piece. Indicate the profit maximizing level with a Q star on the profit axis. You don't have enough information actually to know what Q star is. Now, if you're not sure what these 2 curves are, right, they are MR and MC. So we need quantity and price. And we know that the MR is always going to be the same value because of Mr. Darp. Marginal revenue equals demand equals average revenue equals the price. And we are given that that's $5. And then just so you know, right, you've got this picture right here before. So it's going to look something like that. It's going to be this Nike swoosh. It's going to say MC. And it actually says use the profit maximizing level of output as Q star. And that's where MR equals MC. Bada bing, bada boom. Hopefully that helped you. I'll see you next time.